Hey everybody, Go21 back with another video. And first of all, yes, I know it's been literally forever since I made a video. I had something come up in the last couple of weeks that has really been occupying my mental space. And I wanted to kind of make a video discussing it and try to express how I feel about this particular subject I'll be bringing up today. Please also note too that this video is based off of what my current understanding of the subject matter that I'll be discussing is. So if anybody has any more light on it after watching the video, you're more than welcome to comment about it. So earlier this week or this month, Govee, that makes all the products that I enjoy, from strip lights to smart kettles and humidifiers and all that jazz, for a short time or I guess not for a short time, but for a good long while, was making basically smart Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled floor heaters. And apparently, I guess within the last year or so, Govee had received reports from users are having potential fire and overheating hazards and I guess one minor burn or something like that. And so they had sent out basically, and I'm kind of reading off of a webpage. I'll be reading off of some emails that I got from Govee from a specific representative, as well as an official statement that's on their website. And I'll probably include some screen recordings of what those look like, or some screenshots at least of the emails that I traded with Govee. So basically, Govee Life and Govee's voluntary recall of electric smart heaters USA and Canada. We prioritize consumer safety and are dedicated to ensuring that user satisfaction. Govee Life and Govee, in conjunction with the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, Health Canada, are voluntarily recalling the electric space heaters because they can overheat, posing fire and burn hazards. Testing determined the smart electrical space heaters do not comply with the voluntary industry safety standard UL 1278, posing an overheating and fire risk from wireless control functions. And so on this webpage, they basically have all the listed models, which is basically their entire product stack of smart heaters. And while I appreciate Govee making this statement and this public announcement, all this jazz, what kind of struck me wrong was the fact that basically Govee, the only thing that they're doing is asking their users to basically cut the power cord and to write the word recall on the silver sticker on their products, and to show a picture of the cut cord with the recall written on these stickers. And the most that Govee's willing to do is a refund for the purchase back to their customers. And while I understand that's probably the best felt call they could make, my problem specifically is that, one, there's very little detail about what exactly was the problem or what exactly is going into these issues happening. I mean, yes, you could say that anything that has a heating element can theoretically overheat. That would even include a dryer or a coffee machine, right? Because they all have heating elements and stuff. And for me in particular, what really bothered me was that there was so little detail discussing exactly, okay, what were the conditions? It's kind of like when you look at something that's broken or not working right, you have to take kind of like a Sherlock Holmes approach to things and basically, really look into what at the scene of the crime, what actually happened, what are all the minute details of the issue that came up. And so being the type of person that I am, and always having a philosophy of fighting for the users basically and wanting to know more, I then sent an email, which I will put a screenshot of in this video, basically asking a series of 3 questions about, we have had our Govee heater model H7131 for well over a year and have not experienced any issues listed in the recall. And I was talking about also how that we're a caregiver to my father who's disabled. He needs the heater obviously to stay warm because of his condition and stuff. If we do ship the heater, what does Govee recommend its customers to do for a replacement? Do you plan to refresh your stock supply of these defective heaters with heaters that are proper working order? And question 3, how long have you known this to be an issue with your heaters, and how was the issue discovered? And so I asked that they would please reply back to all my questions, and to which then I waited a reply. And I sent this email initially on the 8th, and I got an automated reply on the 10th, basically kind of reiterating the same stuff that they had put on the warning page, which, I mean, I guess they figured, oh, somebody just replied. If you have any questions, we'll just auto-reply them back, whatever, which really didn't answer my questions, obviously. So I pushed harder, and I said, so I did some research, and apparently, now again, this is where I'm going to say that this is to my best of my understanding, And the interesting details unfold after this particular email. So I replied, so I did some research and apparently the wireless control issue that is supposedly the devices could be hacked from the internet. An attacker could use the heater to just keep it running until something happened. But what I do not understand is why you can't push a patch to the heaters to disable the Wi-Fi cards and the units and just leave the Bluetooth feature usable with your hydrothermometer devices. Your reply to my question did not really answer what I wanted to know, and I won't be taking any actions until you explain the exact conditions in which these fires happened and how they happened. By the way, I like to just mention that English was very difficult for me in high school, side note, so that's why it sounds a little awkward, so please bear with me. As I said, I have disabled family members in our house, and your Govee heaters are essential to keep my father, who is disabled, warm in the winter. You did not explain if or when you will be remaking your product line and what replacement will look like and how it will work with your hydrothermometer ecosystem. So then I got a reply back from a Govee representative by apparently her name was, I guess, Emily. So hi, Emily. Thank you for your reply. And she manually replied back to my questions. She said, thank you for your detailed questions and concerns. I understand the importance of ensuring safety and comfort for your family, especially given the circumstances. Let me address each of your points in detail. Should we return the heaters if we haven't had any issues with model H7131? Even if you haven't experienced any issues with your Govee H7131 heater, it is highly recommended to follow the recall instructions. Recalls are issued as a precautionary measure to ensure safety for all users, obviously. The potential risks associated with recall could still affect your unit, even if it has been functioning up until this point. Your safety and safety of your patient are predominant, so returning the heater is the safest course of action. Now, first of all, a little fault on the email a little bit. It says, so returning, which Govee is not letting us return the devices. So that was a little interesting. I just noticed that now, actually. If we do ship them back, I was basically asking the question, if we do ship them back, what do you plan to do? Refresh the stock supply? To which she replied, if you decide to return the heater, we will only refund. There's no replacement. A required set forth by the CPSC. I asked, on my third question, I asked, how long have you known this to be an issue with your heaters and how was the issue discovered? The issue with the wireless control and potential fire hazard was identified through ongoing product testing and monitoring, as well as a feedback from customers and regulatory bodies. We immediately conducted thorough investigation and tests upon receiving individual reports of overheating. Despite this, there was no clear or conclusive reason for the causes of the issue. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna stop there. They have no clear or conclusive reason for why it was happening. Okay, keep that in mind because I think there was something later in this email that really caught my attention about this, but I'll keep reading. Electrical appliances can overheat and may pose a potential risk of overheating when certain wireless control features are operated unattended. Thus, we decided to immediately discontinue our heater range sale and issue a voluntary recall in conjunction with the CPSC and Health Canada to ensure the safety of our customers. Wireless control potential patch. The wireless control issue, specifically the potential for hacking, is a serious concern. While it might seem like a simple solution to disable the Wi-Fi cards via software update, the underlying hardware and firmware complexities may not allow for such a straightforward fix. Additionally, the recall is likely addressing both security and safety aspects of the heaters, which may require more than just a software patch. And there are some security issues caused by user... Okay, now this is the key point. There are some security issues caused by the user setting errors or not knowing how to set. Product line refresh and ecosystem compatibility. As part of our product line development strategy, we have discontinued Govee's Life Smart Space Heaters and products line worldwide. Thank you for your understanding and patience. Now, that's a lot first of all, to process. Okay, so I'm going to take this specific thing here. So what it sounds like to me is that even though Govee makes the products, for some reason, they have one, no conclusive answer for why it's happening. But two, they kind of do have a conclusive answer because the conclusive answer is what it sounds like is that their users are potentially, I'm going to use a lot of air quotes, potentially not knowing how to use the product correctly and therefore having a problem. So that's something that kind of like comes up for me when it comes to this. And there was one specific part of this email. This is a really long string of stuff, but I guess I'll try to continue reading. Again, this is like a long video, so just kind of, grab a coffee and sit back and listen here. After her long reply, basically about, the discontinuing and how the patch wouldn't be simple, etc., I then reply back, says, I appreciate your email back. My last concern is I did research for this. There are other Wi-Fi enabled heaters on the market. How come these are allowed to be sold, knowing the risks, and yet your product was a known issue? I really hate to see that the product line go forever, and I am very interested in knowing when it will return to your product stacked. I know it sounds like I'm asking a lot of questions, but I'm one of those people who wants a full-on picture of the situation of things and appreciate high levels of detail. Our family has very much invested a lot in your products, and we enjoy them on the daily. Love the schedule system and have made our home life much easier. Removing the heaters from our Govee life ecosystem is a huge loss, and I feel reluctant to comply until I know when a new product will come to be replaced, meaning a new line of viable products. If you can give me a future ETA of when new heaters are built better, have overheating detection systems, and other safety features, then I'll be more satisfied and understanding of what to expect next regarding this product. Okay, so then I got a final reply from, and now this was the last reply that I got from anybody at Govee, and I think this is really kind of unfortunate, honestly, in regards to this. Thank you for your continued patience and detailed inquiries. I understand that you're looking for a comprehensive understanding of the situation. I appreciate your commitment to our products. Why only Govee heaters were recalled? Consumer safety is our top priority, and we are dedicated to ensuring user satisfaction. As a precautionary measure, Govee Life and Govee, in cooperation with U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission and Health Canada, are volunteering recalling electric space heaters due to the overheating and fire risk, etc. So kind of reiterating it, basically. While other Wi-Fi enabled heaters may exist on the market, but our recall is voluntary. Thank you for your continued support and enthusiasm for our products. Unfortunately, at this time, we do not have any plans to reintroduce or develop a new line of Govee heaters. We understand that this may be disappointing news, especially given your investment in our ecosystem and the convenience it has brought to your daily life. As of now, there are no timeline for bringing back the heater product line. We will, however, continue to focus on enhancing other products in our ecosystem to ensure they meet your needs and expectations. If there are any other updates in the future regarding new product developments, we will make sure to announce them through our official channels. Okay, so let's step back for a second. All right. So basically, first of all, I got a reply that's basically was like the first email, that they're just not wanting to make a new product stack and all that jazz, which is fine, I guess, but not really. Because my problem as I was reading through the first initial email that I got from Emily at Govee, what it sounds like to me, and because my one final email that I had point out to them was that basically what it sounds like, that instead of Govee making sure that their consumers know how to set and use their heaters properly, they're scapegoating the situation by simply just recalling the problem or recalling the heater and not really addressing the problem that unfortunately most of society doesn't know how to do things properly anyway, which is a little bit annoying. There are people who just kind of like, I don't know, just do stuff without thinking and all this other jazz. And what it feels like to me is that if they couldn't explain properly, because in one of my points of my emails, I said, yes, I like consumer safety, but let's be realistic. Knowing the technologies we have these days, this kind of issue shouldn't even be a problem. I'm going to call it out. If the user didn't know how to set it properly, that's not on them. That's on you for not making the product usage clear enough or improper explanation of your Govee Home app. So again, recalling, while I get why, is almost like someone doesn't want to put the work in to solve the main issues and minor details, and instead just pull the whole product line. I'm sure you're reading off of some script to avoid legal issues, but my point still stands. Am I right here? So basically what I feel like to me and my grievance with Govee right now is that instead of finding some way to patch their software or patch their devices or patch their hardware or make sure their AWS security hosting on their servers and all that is secure, Govee's like, oh no, there's a bunch of users that misused our product, and now they had this ramification. And I just think it's ridiculous that if that's actually what happened, because I'm still not getting a full detail. What were people doing with their Govee heaters that caused the issue. We've had our Govee heaters for well over a year. I know how to set it properly. I know where all the temperature target systems work. I understand that actually there was a patch update in the Govee heaters where you could have a high, medium, and low. When the heater is on the low setting, it's using about 900 watts. When it's on the high setting, it's about 1500 watts, right? So like, I know like, because I actually measured it with a watt meter to the wall with the Govee heater plugged in. So I know what the range is. And for that, you know, most power supplies in computers are over 1,000 watts and have overheat protection, overvolt protection, and a number of other detection systems. So it sounds like to me, Govee or whoever made the product missed that. And so because it's like, you know, oh, there's these problems happening, rather than be like, hey, we noticed a fault in our product, these Govee heaters. We are going back to the drawing board and designing new heaters that have new safety functionalities to protect our users from basically idiots, okay, is what this basically comes down to. And what bothers me more still is Govee is recalling these heaters, but they have other appliances that have, guess what, heating elements in them, which would include like their smart kettle, their coffee machine, I like to point out, rice cooker, which could also be more dangerous than a heater or just as dangerous. So I don't know, I'm not trying to like start a war. I'm not trying to cause a problem. I'm trying to call out that like, hey, Govee, please explain to me, what were the full on details? What happened? And also, how do you not have conclusive data from research about what was happening? Like, you can see the gap here, right? So this is like the meat of the video here. The gap is there was research that was done and reports from users about this problem, but there was no conclusive answer about why this was happening. Oh, and by the way, improper use, as I sort of found this email, I think like improper use or something of the wireless control system. And also, if you know that hacking is a problem, which, I mean, if a hacker wants anything bad enough, like, they'll get it. Like, I mean, look at all the, like, look at National Public Data, for example, the whole data breach with that and stuff. Like, it doesn't really matter. But the point is, Govee knows that this is a problem. They know what their technology is. And yet, for some reason, instead of somebody putting in the hard work for this, they're just recalling a product instead of actually admitting fault. They're like, yeah, okay, we screwed up on our technology. We didn't do the research we should have done. We should have made sure that this had more safety features. And we should have made sure that the instructions in our application or wherever the directions are was more clear, and they weren't. So really what I am asking Govee is, please be honest. Tell us what the specific, again, the Sherlock Holmes example, from the scene of the crime to the research lab, back to the scene of the crime, what happened? What were the conditions and what were the conclusive data? Please tell me that, because we'd all like to know. I'd like to know, okay? I like the product. I think that, frankly, just removing a product line because you're not willing to give conclusive information is just, I'm sorry, I hate to sound like this, but it's kind of lazy. Okay, corporate America, unfortunately, is just like this, and I don't think this is right. I think it is fair to the consumer to tell us all the information, all the conclusive data, all the reasons, not just oh, we have to use certain legally words to keep our butts out of court. So, you know, this is just what I think and feel. I'm a consumer. I'm also a technology nerd. And, you know, I like this product. I like this company. I don't want to have to feel like that Govee has lost me as a customer, because this also hurts their product line, right? So like, you know, if somebody buys another appliance from Govee, and let's just say it's one of their other, like their rice cooker, right? So then like somebody buys, you know, there's like half a dozen or 500,000, you know, rice cooker products bought. And then like a year later, like, oh no, we fricked up. Oh, sorry, our rice cookers blew up. Oh, so sorry. Oh, when, you know, Consumer Safety Act, we gotta ask it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, do you see the problem here? Like, yeah. Anyway, so this has just been really, really irking me. I do appreciate at least the email reply from Emily at Govee. Thank you again for your time, but this is still not satisfactory to me. And I think I would like to have some kind of, you know, graceful follow up to Govee, you know, from Govee about the Sherlock Holmes example of from start to finish, what are the conclusive answers? If you don't have conclusive answers, then in my opinion, having a recall is not warranted. Okay. Like I don't know how this investigation stuff works. I just know that the logic is not there and the recall reasoning is not there. And if you know that people have already invested in an ecosystem, and then for them to have to go to a different ecosystem because Govee doesn't want to, like, you know, fix a problem, like, it just shouldn't be that hard to fix it. Go look at the data that you have. Apparently, it sounds like you have data, right? Go look at it again, and then think about what would be need to comply with whatever these safety standards are, because there's obviously other Wi-Fi enabled heaters. They are out there, and I have looked at them. And what kind of problems do they have? You know, it's trying to cover. It's kind of like having things recalled or having things done like this is not making. Companies need to be accountable. This is what I really ultimately want. I want some more accountability than this. A recall is not accountability enough for me. And I really think that it would be nice to have Govee do more than just recall, do more than just refund. Be willing to examine the idea that maybe it is okay to admit that you messed up, and that you should consider refreshing your product with technology that is compliant, that is safe, that is well explained, that, you know, basically when you have a user use your product who might be a complete and utter dodo, at least knows what they're doing while they're using it. So I don't think that's too much to ask. Again, I'm not mad at Govee. I'm not pissed or anything. I just wanted to just put it out there. This is something I've been thinking about. I think I like to try to be somewhat of a voice to consumers, or, you know, for consumers and for specifically Govee users about this. If I've misunderstood anything about the email that I read, or what the problem was, or somebody has other data about it, please go ahead and comment it. I want to know and talk about this. It's about having a honest, open conversation between us as consumers and Govee themselves officially. Yeah, and again, like, if I'm wrong, I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong. That's fine, because that means I have to learn something, and that's great. Yeah, so I'm sorry if I'm not trying to go on a bit of a tangent with this. I just wanted to kind of like show this email or talk about this email and discuss it openly and see if there are other people that had similar questions. I can't be the one that asked all this. I can't be the one that just, you know, followed the lemmings off the cliff without asking why first. So yeah, so thank you guys so much. I know this was a little bit hard for me to get through reading this, but thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if Govee wishes to email me or contact me in any way or something like that, I would love to hear it. I would love to talk about it. I would love to help design a new product that is better. I would love to volunteer to test whatever new product that you could be inspired to make after watching this. You guys make really, really good products. Honestly, you do. I have enjoyed them 100%. And I think that you guys should continue making great products. But I don't think that recalling a product is a way to make a new, better product. So I believe that is all I have to say at this moment. Thank you guys so much. And again, any questions, comments, whatever, go ahead and comment down below. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.